All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone is having an amazing morning and hope you had a great day yesterday to start off the month of October. So I just want to do a quick mic check. Make sure you guys can hear me okay. All right, excellent.
Loud and clear, Carlos, but I'm not seeing you on YouTube.
You are not. Okay, let me see here.
Can you throw up the link?
Yep, I'll send it over to you.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, CFC. Appreciate that. All right, guys, so let's get to it. So we had a very interesting day yesterday. Let's start off with the SPY on what that did. And as usual, guys, if you're joining us for the first time, we're going to talk about our watch list that we had on here. Obviously, all the brokers were very active yesterday. TD Ameritrade, Schwab, IB. All of these were trading very well. E-Trade. So we'll get into those in a second. And I think there might be some continuation today because TD is already down for 4.1, so we'll get into all of that. So a lot to go through this morning. So we'll make sure we'll leave enough space to get through all of it. So here's the SPY. The SPY yesterday traded very, very nice. I mean, just beautiful, guys. Just trending down nicely, and I think this caused a lot of great moves throughout the market. So when the SPY has a nice trade like this, you can really catch some good trades. I mean, if you're aiming, you probably trade the SPY directly, short it here. He loves trading the SPY. So again, just an overall down day for the SPY. No real bounce, just kind of following this 9 moving average. So let's see how that affected some of the stocks that we were watching. Let's start over with X. So X had a beautiful pre-market activity. They had some news, as Nor mentioned yesterday in the pre-market show. You can see here just beautiful pre-market activity, a nice little run-up, and then at the open, traded excellent. And I know the SPY was selling off, so I think this thing would have went higher if the SPY didn't sell off as much, kind of preventing it from from getting some momentum. But it was really strong at the open. We played this for opening range breakup, and it traded very, very nice. From there, it kind of got really toppy around here. Some of you members took this for a short off this bounce here, so that was great. You got towards the VWAP, and I think it dropped even further down, so that was good. NERV, I had this on my list, guys, but this didn't do anything at all. So again, just pretty choppy, not much going on there. SFIX was also another one that was very, very choppy. Not really anything exciting. Let's get the 1 minute chart here as well. Now this one so we can see how it opened up on the one. Again, had this beautiful pop here, trying to get above this 2075. Huge rejection. Look at this engulfing crack pattern here. It could have been a good entry if you had quick fingers to get into this trade. But then from there, guys, just nasty price action. Not anything really clean, with SFIX yesterday. E-Trade was beautiful, guys. Again, beautiful drop here. If you acted quick enough, you could have taken this for a rising devil. A lot of traders are taking this strategy, basically going short on the first sign of the pop. And when you go short here, you can take advantage of this stock selling off. The idea is that after a huge sell-off in the pre-market, people tend to get out of their position, and then you get the squeeze right back down. It didn't run as much as I would have expected towards the downside. Again, just kind of went down a point or two. Again, nothing too crazy, and then from there, just did a nice double bottom, and it's just kind of just curled up around the VWAP, not really giving us anything great to trade after that. Towards the end of the day, I think we had a sell-off. Yeah, towards the end of the day, you had a little bit more of a sell-off here. But again, throughout this time frame here and here, you could have taken some trades here and play the range, right? Got stuck into this range here. But overall, it didn't trade as great as AMD. I'm sorry, TD Ameritrade. So at TD Ameritrade, this one was really nice, guys. Sold off. Did get a little bounce off 36.23. That was a level we had on the daily. Goes right up to VWAP. Nice rejection. And then just look at the drop. Just loses a 36.23, which was previous area of support. That's a good way to get into that trade there if you missed the VWAP. And then from there, guys, just drops nicely. Just beautiful drop all day. Basically, I think kind of following the SPY somewhat. VIVE we had here as a possible. Again, this thing popped up nicely. Price action was a little bit too crazy for my taste. And again, just kind of hesitates up here and then just drops. Not really anything tradable. MNK didn't do much. I had it here for possible, but that didn't do much. And then two other ones that were active yesterday was Schwab. Charles Schwab here also did a nice engulfing pattern. If you include that 5 minute from the pre-market, look at the engulfing pattern here. That's a good indication of heading short here, going south. So if you got short in this area here, or you waited for the open and you didn't see it was coming up, you saw the buying volume disappeared. Not the buying volume disappeared and heading south. That could have been a great entry too for 1 minute, 2 minute opening range breakdown. And then here just kind of hesitates to get above the VWAP, cannot get above this area and just start settling down real nice. on the swap there. IB was also great. I saw a beautiful trade. Make sure you guys check out the recaps that we have on YouTube. Beautiful trade on IB. A member took this short right in this area, took advantage of this beautiful drop, and then from there comes back, retests the VWAP. You almost got a reverse ABCD pattern going here. This is your C support. Another great entry, and it's lovely when the C support is at a area of a moving average or some kind of area of technical support that gives you even more support to take this short or long, in this case short, and then beautiful drop breaking the low of the day all the way down to this area. So very nice and clean, guys, yesterday. And that was our watch list. And it looks like today I'm gonna keep some of these on here, so we'll get to that in a second. Looks like TD Ameritrade is down another 4%. We also have E-Trade down another 5%. IB, what is IB doing? Down 2%, and Schwab down 2.8. So these guys are going to be active for the next couple of days because, again, this drop and other news going on is going to be very exciting for us to take advantage on. Norm, what do we have in the SPY for this morning and the rest of the week?
Yeah, before we jump into that, it's interesting what's going on in this industry right now with all these electronic discount brokers now slashing fees, getting rid of fees. I know some people are asking if we'll be switching over or what'll happen with, interactive brokers that a lot of us use, for instance. I use interactive brokers. And just to note, as of right now, the move that started all this was interactive brokers introducing a new product, if you will, called, IBKR Lite, which is not the same thing that we use. That the accounts that most of us have, as of the announcement and what I've read through, will not be eligible for this. It's kind of a different kind of platform that this is going to be a part of. That having been said, with all these other brokers now coming out and following suit, and I've read some things, TD Ameritrade, I got an email. I've got retirement accounts and such with TD Ameritrade, and I got an email that they're switching to zero commissions in a couple of weeks or a week and a half. So I think it's October 12th, 7th, 12th, something like that. I won't be switching platforms because to something like that because I can't trade effectively. I tried to trade on Thinkorswim. Commissions as of right now are part of the cost of doing business and trading. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Interactive brokers might have to come and cut commissions on everything if all these other guys do that. So We'll see. It should be very interesting.
It sure is, and great for us too. So
yeah, it is great for us, and I'll emphasize. So somebody's asking, will CMEG offer free commissions? I can guarantee you CMEG will not offer free commissions because they're a different business model.
Yeah.
Unless the PDT rule went away, CMEG will not be offering free commissions because they don't need to and they don't have to. Their competition really isn't IB or TD Ameritrade.
Correct.
They compete against other offshore brokers and people use them that are in the United States primarily to get around the PDT rule. So anyway, we'll see what happens, but that's okay. So TD is starting tomorrow. Thank you, stock operator. I got the email and I did mention it. I just didn't remember the date. So I think E-Trade is the one that's hanging out. People are anticipating that coming soon. But I've read some things that these guys have had this in the work for months. And obviously they came out within 2 days or a day and announced the same thing that Interactive Broker. I think they were just waiting for the shoe to drop. And as soon as it did, they were ready to go. So anyway, that is all I got on that for right now. But SPY's down 0.6%. Looks like it's trying to make another leg lower right now. A lot of this is coming off the ISM manufacturing data that came out at 9 a.m. yesterday. That was the weakest it's been since I believe June of 2009. So that's freaking people out a little bit. If you pull SPY one day, the daily on SPY back like we did yesterday morning, get at least a year or so's worth of data, maybe even a little bit more. You can see since that December low, we've been kind of in a rising wedge pattern up here, ascending wedge, and we are toward the bottom of that channel. So at 8:15, 25 minutes ago, ADP payroll data came out for last month. It was essentially at estimates, but those numbers are getting lighter and lighter. The jobs numbers are getting weaker and weaker. The government employment numbers will come out Friday, so we'll see what that shows. If we break the bottom of this channel, we could be in for a test back down to the 281, where you've got the moving average right there on the SPY. And I think the other thing that's freaking people out a little bit, that massive drop that you're showing on the chart essentially started October. The sell-off of the market last fourth quarter started on October 4th off the top of my head.
Yeah, right around here.
We're October 2nd right now, so people are freaking out. A little bit of deja vu, maybe. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Should be interesting.
Yeah, should be good, guys. All right, let's get into our gappers list right in here. I'm going to keep a few of these because we know they're active. Basically, the brokers. We'll keep those for now. So let's start over with what we have here so far. So ETFC. So as we know, guys, this thing has been active. All the news Norm just mentioned. So we'll definitely have this on our list. We do have some levels on here, but I'm going to remove it and we'll get some fresh ones based on new information that we might have from yesterday's highs and lows. So we'll keep that on there. Right now, good volume, 184,000 shares, down 4.1. So definitely something we want to keep an eye on. Next, we have TD Ameritrade. So AMTD. This one also even more active than most. I think this sold off probably out of all of them. This was the one that got the hit the hardest yesterday in regards to sell-off. So they're down 3.6. Great volume, 723 so far this morning. That will be interesting to watch. Let's look at Schwab here. So Schwab is also down 2.3. Not much volume. And yesterday they traded very well. Didn't move as much or as crazy as AMTD did, but again, this one also has some good trading, some good intraday trading, and sold off pretty nice, although on a slower pace, looks like here. So again, we'll keep an eye on this one also, guys. And IBs also want to keep an eye on these four here are going to be very active given all the news and all the buzz that's going on at the moment. IB doesn't have a lot of shares right now traded, only 21,000. But again, we're at a point where we need to definitely keep an eye on these just because of the way they're trading. What we could do also just keep a few, maybe two instead of all four. We'll keep the best two. All right, let's start looking at this scappers list we have up here. So we cover AMTD, we cover E-Trade, and then we also cover, I think that's it. So let's start from the top. TSG. TSG, the Stars Group. All right, so these guys are up 35%. The float on this bad boy is 272 million, so it's not a low flow. That's good. Pre-market activity. Let's get the 5 in here. See what that looks like. Okay, pre-market activity looks good. We have some action on here. We do have shares for sure. 2.8 million shares traded so far, so that's quite a bit. Norm, anything going on with this one here that we're aware of?
Yeah, there's a merger. This is an online gaming company, gambling company. They're merging with another company, so it's an all stock deal, which means it might actually be in play. If it was cash or something like that, where it was a buyout, it probably wouldn't be. But it's a stock deal, so it might be in play, especially with the Supreme Court decision last year to allow sports betting online in the U.S.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a good one to watch today, guys. Up quite a bit, 34%. I mean, last previous day close was 15.31. We're trading at 20 bucks. So interesting to watch this one. Tons of volume at the moment. Some good pre-market activity, as you can see here, starting to pick up nicely with some great volume right here in the 5 minute. Next we have MT. I think MT is a foreign stock. Trades horrible. Yep, this is one that doesn't trade very well. Again, it's a foreign stock, and you can see here that's where you get all these gaps in this nasty daily chart. If you look at the intraday, not really a good one to trade. Let's go over to BHP. I think this one's also, also a foreign stock.
This is an Australian mining company.
Yeah, they're down quite a bit, 2.8, some good volume. But again, if you look at the pre-market activity, guys, this is the type of action you get, and the intraday is not as clean. This one, for some of the foreign stocks that we look at, seems to have a better daily chart than most. But again, just the intraday activity is not it's not great on these foreign stocks. So we'll skip this one. And then a day like today too, you don't want to watch this stuff when you have so much other ones that are trading so well this morning. ATVI, we had fun with that a couple of months ago, I believe. Nor when they were going up and down with a lot of the other gaming stocks. So this was nice to trade. They're down today 2.8, 136,000 shares traded. So not much pre-market activity at the moment. But this one, when it's in play, trades very, very well. And we do seem to be getting on a little downtrend here. So gapping down quite a bit, sitting at the next area of support that was prior resistance. So interesting on the daily. We can definitely keep an eye on this. Any interesting news on this one, Norm?
Yeah, they're dropping on an analyst downgrade, essentially moved it from hold to sell. And even though they raised their price target, the price target got raised, I believe it was from 41 to 43. So that would indicate, pretty good, almost 20% downside, 15% downside, somewhere in there. So.
All right, excellent. Next we have, we looked at ATBI. We do have BHP. We looked at AMTD. E-Trade SFIX. Let's look at this one here. So this one, after hours yesterday, had a massive drop. Let me show you guys the 5-minute. It was going insane. Went from 22. I was actually looking at this. Went from 20 all the way down to 16, 17, I think it was. Yeah, 17, and snapped back up all the way up to 21. Kind of finally settled in, and then now we are down back to 17, down 14.6 this morning. They had earnings after hours yesterday. Definitely one we want to watch this morning. Any more news on the actual earnings? I obviously didn't go well, as we can see here.
They beat their earnings number. They were just slightly missed on revenue. It was their guidance that was off. And then I'm sure some analyst downgrades or changes will be coming in this morning. It'll be interesting to see what happens on it throughout the day.
All right, so we will definitely keep an eye on this one and see what happens to it as we get more volume. Right now, 206,000 shares traded, quite a bit, and then also down 14%. So definitely one we want to keep an eye on. All right, folks, let's look at NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. Let's see what's going on there. NAKD, usually not one that we look at. Penny stock. TSG, we looked at already. This one's very active this morning. 3 million shares traded now. So this thing just keeps on climbing higher and higher. Looks like 500,000 in volume of candles on the 5-minute approximately. And you have some ones that are roughly around 300,000. So again, volume is there for sure. Up quite a bit. This is going to be good to watch. TVIX slightly up this morning as the SPY is down slightly. Next we have PG. And X, this one here looks like it was halted already, has 1 million shares traded so far. So this could be interesting. But again, pre-market activity not looking all that great. Not sure what's causing all the buzz here. We'll throw it down here as possible. Let's check it. What type of float do we have on PG and X? It is an 84 million shares float. It's a pharmaceutical company, so we can definitely keep an eye on this one. Again, we do have a lot of shares that have been dropped here, but it looks like it has been halted already. So I believe it has resumed now. So let's just keep an eye on to see if that's going to be something we can trade today. AMTD, we have guys again. Go ahead.
This one's a buyout, and it's stock.
Okay. So it could be tradable depending how things lay out here. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see how that develops. AMTD, we have already again putting in a beautiful pre-market activity, guys. Right now, definitely one of my favorites this morning. NASDAQ ETF slightly down this morning with the market. CGIX, not much going on here. Penny stocks, so we'll skip this. Next, we have another NASDAQ ETF, AMD. So AMD is just, again, with all the great stuff we've been watching lately, we're putting AMD on the back burner. Let's see what's going on, how they traded yesterday, just out of curiosity. It should have probably been a good day with the way the markets were selling off. Yeah, it got a nice little engulfing pattern here. And the 5 retest of the VWAP kind of like got an ABCD, reverse ABCD pattern going on here. And then you can see a nice, beautiful drop. So AMD traded well, again, just because the SPY was so nice yesterday on a beautiful downtrend. All right, NASDAQ gainers, guys. TSG, we have already on our list, 3.2 million shares traded so far. IMRN, this is one that we have looked at in the past. It was a former runner with some volume, but again, today not doing much. Not sure where the volume is coming from because I am not seeing it here in the pre-market, so that looks nasty. Let's look at AXSM. This one here, it is up 9.5 after a huge couple of red days. Look at this beautiful drop here. So kind of recovering a bit here, up 9.5. Not much volume, guys. Only 25,000 shares traded. But definitely worth taking a look at later on if this thing can get going. Could be a good possible swell. Usually when you have these extended moves and this pop-up here, you can definitely get a continuation play out of this. Again, yesterday had a nice little drop there. We'll keep an eye on it. AIMT, this one not doing much. Horrible pre-market activity and also horrible daily chart. This doesn't look great at all. NEPT, no volume. TORV, also nothing going on here. OCGN, same situation. TVIX we're aware about, and TNAV, also no volume. So that is what we have today so far. Just at the top, our gappers list gave us a really nice list so far, but let's see what else you guys have on your end. What do you guys like this morning? Norm, what do you like this morning?
I'm going to keep my eyes on Apple. It's kind of been trading interestingly the last few days. We're going to see what the market does for it. Based on its beta, Apple typically moves a good amount more than SPY, even though a lot of times it trades similarly to SPY. Excuse me. So it's got 216,000 shares traded this morning, down about 0.75%. I'm going to see what it does here in this range. If it's still going to sit and consolidate. Yesterday, I was talking to somebody, and that breakout that we had was just a thing of beauty the last 2 days. But the shooting star it just put in on the daily is not a good sign. So we'll see.
Yeah. And definitely off this resistance up here, and again, that's going to be interesting to see how it goes down. You got some moving averages down here. So yeah, Apple looks very interesting, guys. Definitely worth giving a look at there. Let's start with LEN. Netflix, we'll do that next. So LEN over here. So we have 60,000 shares traded on LEN. This is up 2.7. Not much volume right now, but it's been on a nice uptrend. Let's go back and look at the daily, see what else we have going on here on LEN. Yeah, we do have some areas of support. So we're not at all-time high. Some area of resistance, excuse me, there that we can play off. So let's put it on here as a possible. We can definitely take a look at that. Next, we have UNFI. UNFI is down quite a bit. It should be hitting our scanners pretty soon, as it is probably going to get the volume over 100,000. Daily chart looks a little bit funky. What's the news on this one, Norm? Probably don't have this one yet because we just
they had earnings last night, so they got hit pretty hard after the close yesterday.
Okay, all right. So yeah, this is worth taking a look at. I do like the drop, 22%. The volume is not quite there yet, but this could be exciting to look at. So nice, good one there. Let's see what else. Netflix. Oh, Netflix. What's going on here? So do they have earnings that's coming out this week or something?
No, earnings on Netflix. This is just continuation of streaming, and I haven't seen a specific news story on this one in the last few minutes. I know I walked by the TV and CNBC. They were talking about streaming wars and Netflix and some opinion data, consumer data of what people might consider doing as far as streaming providers. So I don't know if something came up in there. I have not seen it yet.
All right, this looks good, guys. Definitely active. Love the drop here. It's just starting to get going. You can see it's in our gappers list now, down 3.2. Some good volume. Just the last couple of minutes, dropping a couple of bars here in volume, so that's good. So let's keep this one on here. Netflix is interesting for today as well. All right, next, what do we have here? All right, LEN, good earnings. Yeah, LEN, we have this on here. This one looks good. Hopefully can get more active on the volume, but again, has a nice little pop here on earnings, so that's good. We'll keep an eye on that one. Facebook, let's take a look at what Facebook is doing. Then we'll look at ACB next. Facebook, man, Facebook on the chart looks interesting. On the day, it looks very interesting because you're at an area of prior support right on here, and if you lose that, you also lost already kind of this moving average 200. So again, Facebook is interesting. It's just the activity, the volume is not there right now, but this could be a good one to watch later on as a possible. So if you have a secondary list, you could definitely throw on Facebook, which is one of those stocks you can keep on there forever because they trade very well when they're in play or when they just get going in one direction. Let's look at ACB. So ACB has some volume, 851. Pretty flat right now, though. It's been on a beautiful downtrend over the last couple of days. Man, these guys have been losing their shirts. Look at this thing, which is up at $10, and from now we're trading down at $4. So it's kind of slowly on a real nice downtrend. But again, ACB is very difficult to trade, guys, unless it's really in play. It doesn't move much. Another one that I would like to trade out of the past stocks is really Crone and CGC. And those are also been on a nice downtrend, but again, no volume on them right now at the moment. All right, let's see what else we have. ENDP. This one, no volume at the moment right now. It's no activity. MKC traded well yesterday. See what is up today. Not much volume at the moment, but this is a good one for a secondary list. So you can see on the daily, you do have a possibility of a continuation play, right? So you're gapping down this morning, but this stock is obviously has some strong news, and you can see the beautiful pop here, hitting some of these areas of resistance around this time from around end of August. So could be going for the secondary list. Right now, I don't see much activity happening on this, but again, they had an amazing day yesterday. It's funny, someone mentioned in the chat room that I took off MKC for SFIX, and that's what happens, guys. You cannot watch every single one. If there's any luck in trading, it's going to be you missing the wrong stock because you weren't watching it, or missing the right stock because you weren't watching it. That's probably the one thing that you cannot control, because you just can only watch a certain amount. If you watch too much, you really can't focus on everything. All right, let's see.
I will say MKC can be a little difficult to trade. I had it on my list yesterday, but it was kind of a backup because I know from past experience it gets a little choppy and it has some fairly serious price swings. It's not super highly traded, so not quite as liquid as other things. Average volume on it's only 800,000 shares a day. So
yeah, pretty light on the volume as well. All right, guys, we got quite a bit here, so we're gonna cut it off here, because also I believe that out of this group here, we have a very nice list to watch. We have some more coming up in our gappers list, so we'll make sure we'll take a look at those as well if they come up here. So, Norm, what do we have as far as announcements? Let me bring this up.
Yeah, guys. So New York City meetup picks with Dr. Steenbarger. They're on Facebook. If you went to the meetup, or if you just want to see, go ahead and go peek at our Bear Bull Traders Facebook page and find the pictures yourself, or see what it was like. Hopefully those that missed it can make the next meetup. DAS #1 Best Trader competition ends the 15th. You can go to onebesttrader.com and see the live leaderboard. BBT is really well represented there. Benzinga FinTech Awards, we have been nominated to a couple of categories in that. We're really honored for it. Avi will throw up the links. But if you enjoy the content we put out, we really love to have your vote. Appreciate it in advance. It takes about 2 seconds. So thank you for that. Meetups, we've got St. Louis coming up October 19th. That'll be William and Kurt. San Diego, October 26th. That is with the Trade Ideas Conference that they do every year. Really great conference. If you can make it out to San Diego for that, or if you're in the area, it's great to go to that conference and do the meetup, meet everybody there. There was good turnout last year. Andrew will be there. I'm hoping to be there. Andrew will actually be speaking on a panel this year at the TI conference. If you can't make it, at least stream it and get some really good information out of it. And then Clearwater Beach, Florida will be on November 16th. We will have more information on that one as we get closer to the date. New York City meetup that I mentioned earlier, we had a ton of people come out that were not members. They just watched the pre-market show on YouTube, for example, and spoke to a lot of them. Many asked about becoming members, so we gave this discount code for that purpose. If you guys would like to join or upgrade your membership, maybe from a monthly, you can do so. It's 30% off lifetime membership, 25% off annual memberships, the discount code New York City. And then if you're on YouTube and you want to try out the room, you can do so for a week at a discount. Pre-market 24 is the code. It does not auto-renew, does not turn into another kind of membership. Also, if you subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube, you'll be notified when we go live, whether it be trade reviews, the pre-market show, any of these big interviews we've had with, for instance, Dr. Steenbarger or Mike B. from Bellafiore from S&B Capital, you'll be notified. And then also, we're really proud to be supporting Traders for a Cause. If you go to their website, all you have to do is, if you just Google Traders for a Cause, it'll come up. You'll see all of the charities that they support. One of our traders made put a challenge out there last night on Twitter, and I took them up on it. And part of it was three things, and one of them was donating profits from your best trading day of the month, not the full thing, but a portion. And so I'm gonna put mine to Traders for a Cause, or at least part of it, if the challenge works out. So Bear Bull VIP, if you want to go, they've got a big event in Vegas. It's a trading conference. It's 4 days. You can use the code Bear Bull VIP and save $250 off your ticket.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's chop this list up and make it let's fine tune it a bit here. So let's start over with ETCF. As we know, this one and TD Ameritrade, Schwab, and IB are all going to be in play today with all the buzz and the news that's coming out. So our low of the pre-market at the moment is sitting at 34.22. So we'll mark that down right here. And then that's
Carlos.
Yep.
I apologize, man. I've got one more thing to say that I forgot to mention this morning.
Go for it, man.
We are going to be updating the website. Just wanted to let you guys know, that we had we had an outage recently. We're changing hosting companies this weekend. So between Friday evening and Sunday afternoon, you might have issues connecting. But hopefully after all that's done and the website's migrated over to a new hosting company, you guys will be able to sign in and we will have not any hiccups.
Yep, excellent. All right, let's get back to ETCF. All right, perfect. So we just mentioned 34.22 low of the pre-market, and then we have the next area of resistance nearby is 39.37, right? Let's just go back real quick just to see if we can find something within this range right here, this gap. After a year, I'm going to switch over to a weekly chart. Okay, all right, so we have not been around this time frame since 2017. So here's a 39.37, right, which is the closest area of possible resistance. And then in here, you really don't have a good daily in here. Oh, maybe this one here, 38.54, but that's really about it. There's no really good significant level of support and resistance besides this 38.54 right here. Then towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market 34.22, you can see how that was acting as support for a couple of months here, right, between December 2016 all the way to 2017 June. So that's a good number to have there. And then below that, just to have something in our charts here, we can put in 32.32 is a good area that we can aim for. You know what, the way this thing's been dropping, I'm gonna put another one. I'm gonna put this one down here all the way at 28, just in case. Actually, this one will be better here, 29.84. I don't think we'll get there, but you just never know what's going on with these things. So here we have it, guys. This one is looking good. Some good volume, 237,000 shares traded so far, down 4.7. Good pre-market activity, not as great as a AMTD. AMTD has a beautiful pre-market activity, mainly because of the volume, right? It has a lot more volume, trading a lot cleaner. So this is definitely one I'll keep an eye on. So low of the pre-market, 32.02 at the moment. Let's go back here. It's probably going to be the same thing for this one as well. Let me look at the weekly, because these things kind of tend to move together. So here we have our 33.03, and nice area of, look how that level plays out nicely, guys. I mean, look at the area of resistance, comes back down, retests that resistance again. This one breaks out of it, comes back down, retested it as support now, and then the beautiful bounce. So that 33.03, basically 33 is a good area to have. And then towards the bottom, we do have an area right in here on the weekly around 31.95. And then all the way, obviously, this is a clear level here, 26.55. I don't think we'll get there, but we do have an area of consolidation around 29.80. 29.80, you can see the areas of consolidation happening around 29.80. So that is what we have for AMTD. Towards the top, you do have your previous day close, highs and low from the last two trading days. Let's see what we do here. We retest this 33 again. Looks like we're heading down there for another test of that. Schwab, we do have here. I'm definitely going to watch this one, guys, because although it doesn't have a great pre-market activity, it traded very nice yesterday on a slower pace than AMTD did, but again, it still traded very clean. Right now, we have 35.90, which is the low of a couple of weeks ago. You have a beautiful double bottom off that 39.90, basically 36, and there our low of our pre-market sitting at 36.45. Mark that down as well. And the high of a pre-market between the previous day close and the price action now sitting at 37.50. Just worth marking those just in case. But we do have a beautiful level here at 35.90. Definitely a nice area where you can see a beautiful double bottom here in the daily heading back up. So this will be going to watch today. IB also another one that's we definitely want to keep an eye on. I might not watch all four. Might probably keep the best two, or maybe I just keep three. We do have 47.70, a nice double bottom here as well, similar to Schwab at 44.59. And then towards the bottom, you do have an area right here. The last drop we have most recent from the price action now is 46.51. So this is a good area to mark that as well. And towards the top, guys, you have previous day close highs and lows from the last two trading days. Actually, from the last trading day, the low here, previous day close, and then above that, if we can get going towards the north side, we do have an area right here at 49.42. So that'll be an area there. Then you have some moving averages in between here. Be aware of those. Let's see how IB is going to trade today. TSG. So TSG is in a little bit of a down move here on the pre-market. This thing's up 32%. High of the pre-market sitting at 22.68, 66 to be exact. Our low of our pre-market sitting all the way down at 16.07. Might not be the best level right now because we do have a beautiful moving average at 16.80. So I'm going to mark that down. And then if we scroll here to the left, all right, we have a nice area here, 21.71, and then right on there, the price action sitting at a great area of support and resistance based on these 2 days. So I'm going to mark that down too, 21.71 and also 20.30. So mark that down as well. So I think that is plenty right now. I think we do one more towards the bottom. We do have an area of resistance that can be support now right here on this beautiful drop at 17.70. So I'll mark that down as well. All right, so that's what we have for at TSG. So we'll keep an eye on that. ATBI didn't get the volume, still pretty well. It has the volume 147, but it's not getting a good pre-market activity. So our low of our pre-market sitting at 51.20. So we'll mark that down. And then towards the bottom, we have a moving average pretty close to 51.20. So I'm not going to mark that down, but just be aware of that moving average around 51 to be exact. And then below that, if we can lose this, we do have an area of consolidation right on here, which is around 50.40. And then towards the bottom, we have the bottom of that consolidation happening around 49.63. So plenty of levels towards the bottom, plenty of levels towards the top, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Moving averages, I don't think you need to add any more. And this one might not make the cut, just the way the pre-market activity is looking so far. But we are ready if it hits our turbo breakdown scanners, like some of the stocks did yesterday. KO was one that I caught off the turbo breakdown scanner. So sometimes you can catch some good stuff off these scanners if nothing on your list is moving. Next we have SFIX here. So SFIX, again, bad earnings yesterday, actually good earnings, I think a bad outlook. So low of the pre-market 17.07. We're bouncing off of that nicely. Let's go back and see what do we have below that. Any good significant level on the daily. I'm gonna switch over to, okay, we have one right here close to 20 end of the year last year, beginning of this year. So we do have an area right on here, 16.13. So this was the drop back in the beginning of the year. So a lot of stocks were down during that time. So 16.13 is the next area of possible support. Towards the top, guys, I am going to mark down this area right on here, 12. I know it's below the high of the pre-market right now, but again, I think this one will be a good one to watch because you do have some areas here where you have some support that can now be resistance. Then towards the top, guys, plenty of levels here. You have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. I don't think you need to add any more. Just be aware of the 19, right? You have a moving average on here, and also these whole dollar numbers can play a factor in intraday trading. So that is what we have on SFIX. So far, these look great. Let's look at our possibles here. So we have Apple. Apple also has a nice daily chart dropping nicely here of this beautiful shooting star. So this will be a good one to watch on the list. Also on the scanners, we do have an area of a consolidation for the last couple of weeks, right? 2 or 3 weeks, just kind of bouncing off of here. And, you know, Normal is watching for this breakouts, which he did get. And then 1780 could be a good area to add. Then don't really add anymore because, I mean, this chart is pretty clean. You don't need any more levels on there. LEN. This will be a possible for me right now. It's not doing much in the pre-market activity. High of the pre-market sitting at 58.32, and then towards the bottom you got plenty of levels in here, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, previous day close, and a moving average right at the low of the pre-market. So I'm not going to add any more, but this will be a possible for me today. Next we have UNFI. UNFI, another possible as well. Doesn't have great pre-market activity right now, but this one is dropping down as well, and a possible I think Norm mentioned a possible buyout or earnings. I can't remember, but we'll look it up in a sec. Low of the
We had
pre-market.
earnings last night, Carlos.
Earnings, thanks, man. So earnings last night, so worth to keep an eye for on your earnings playlist. Hopefully this thing can get going. Low of the pre-market sitting at 826. Your high at 906. Below this, you do have beautiful support right here at a 684. Don't think we'll get there, but who knows if it can break out of this 826 area. That's a nice area of a possible target. You do have some levels in here of support within this these two levels, so you can definitely mark this one down, heading down towards 750ish area. You see how some of the days are bouncing off that there, especially this one here before it went into this beautiful up run here. I mean, it was just nice on that beautiful tear there. Above the pre-market high 906, we do have a moving average right on here, 963. That's worth marking down. And then above that, I was going to mark down the high of this here, but again, with this 966 there, that's pretty close. You don't need to mark those two lines. Use the 966, which is the moving average, which is closest to the price action. So what you want to do with these levels, you want to find what's closest to the price action that makes the most sense, and obviously that moving average there is the one that does that. What do we have on Netflix? So Netflix, again, pretty active, guys. One you also want to watch. I might take out one of the broker stocks and bring up Netflix because this one is moving pretty good in the pre-market. 180,000 shares traded so far. Low of this level here, 252.79. Low of the pre-market is sitting at 260. So we have some two great levels here. That 260 is very strong support, though. You can see here, tested a couple of days here. It was able to bounce back from it. So we're back retesting that 260 one more time. So we'll see what comes out of that. Towards the top, guys, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last two trading days. Moving average, previous day close, high of the pre-market, so plenty on here. It'll take a lot to break out of this today. So that is what we have so far, guys. Andrew is about to come on in a few minutes, and he's going to take over for a bit. And if you are on YouTube, stay tuned because we are going to broadcast the pre-market with Andrew this morning, so don't log off. And make sure you hit that thumbs up if you like the content that you're watching. And that's what we have so far, guys. Again, I think we have a pretty good list. Our gappers list keeps growing here. So Netflix is on here now. TOT is on here now. I'm sure Andrew will take a look at that and go over it. And let me switch over to him, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Trade safe.
Trade safe, guys. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Norm. Good morning, Carlos. Thank you very much. So the market is down. SPY is gapping down. I kind of was expecting it because now when you look at the daily chart, after that big sell-off, it seems to me in the next couple of days want to go around 284, 283 to kind of test. Let me actually share my screen as well. So I was kind of expecting that the SPY is going to go a little bit further down. So it does look like it wants to go and test around this 283. Although you never know. I mean, you never know. You might actually bounce back. But it seems that it's trying to go down and test these levels. That's why we see a lot of stocks on the gappers watch list that's down. Especially, I'm very interested to look at this SFIX because SFIX had a really wild ride after the earning. It gapped down heavily and then it gapped up heavily. So, and then it eventually sold off. So after market, it was really volatile. But it seems that now it has actually found the direction and it wants to sell off. So in terms of levels, let me actually first remove all the levels. So if you want to find the levels, SFIX, I think 1772. There is another one at 18. Then if you want to go back in time, back in 2018, December, I think we have this 1619 level. So 16-ish level. So that's a level that might actually go and test. I do have shares for short. It's going to be on the short selling restriction. It could be a good candidate for the rising devil. So any pullback towards 1740 can be a good short opportunity. So we'll look into that. MU is gapped down 1.3%. Roku is gapping down 1.3%. On the daily chart, they do nothing. Both MU and MU might go actually test the 40.73 and 40.29. So I'll keep in these two on the watch. TSG is gapped up in the weak market. TSG is gapped up. Let's see what TSG is up to. Yeah, it's beautiful gap up 32%, but it's losing it right now. So in terms of levels, if you want to find, there is one level down here at 1950. There's one at 2065. And if you want to zoom in a little bit, yeah, if you want to zoom in, if you want to sell off back to 1969, and if you want to go up at 2171. Back in May, gapped up, but it sold off during the day. So it seems that it's something that it does all the time. UNFI gapping down. United Natural. That one is down 24%. On a daily chart, we have one level at 814. There's one level at 758, and there's one level at 736. Then if you want to come back up, there's one level at 887. Yeah, Unify is also really nice. UNFI. So ETFC is E-Trade still down another 4%. Going down to garbage, huh? These stocks. Yeah, ETFC still is really down. So we'll look into that for sure. TD Ameritrade, that one is also down 4%. Wow, look at that beauty.
I think, I think what happened was Ameritrade followed Schwab's lead, and they've cut their commission too. So all the brokers are down more.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. Yeah, I saw a TD that actually reduced it. And it's tough when you remove the commission. Making money out of internalization and order flow stuff really, really tough. So it's going to be more fun. It wasn't a clean trading for them for yesterday, so I had trouble finding good trades on them. BHP, no activity, so I'm going to delete that. Empty garbage. Netflix is down also 2.4%. Is anyone still watching Netflix? Netflix is down. Yep. Yeah, Netflix is interesting. ATVI. So Netflix is also going down with the market. There's a very important level at 254. Possible going there, and if the market stays weak, then we might be able to test all the way to this 200 moving average. So at 232. ATVIs, check that one out. Yeah, no, nothing. So we already have a lot of good stocks, so I don't want to. Total is down. Yeah, no activity. It's just a block trade. And British Petroleum. So I think it's really great. I think it's really, really great in terms of watch list for me. Let me see what the Peter is looking. Peter looking as LEN. Peter, Lennar Corporation, gapping up 1.6%. Not a lot of volume, so not for me. All right, so this is on my watch. I think we have a decent watch, really. Netflix, AMTD, ETFC, UNFI, TSG, SFIX, and as usual suspects are MU and Roku. That's for me. It's the TSG, yeah. So that will be my watch list, and I think it's a decent watch list. Netflix. So I'm just putting it on different charts that I have. TFC popping higher. TD Ameritrade is over there. TSG. And what I'm doing right now is just because I have different charts. I'm just putting them TSG and SFIX is very important. SFIX. What is happening to Apple? What is happening to Apple? Apple is down. So yeah, Apple can't survive. Yeah, I don't like higher price stocks. That's true, but the Netflix is just it's really nice price action on the daily level. So we'll do some stuff with it. But yeah, you're right. I'm not a big fan of higher price stocks. So yeah, so I'm just I put everything in different charts that I have. I just want to make sure that I have UNFI. No, I don't. So I'm just putting UNFI. So for me, waiting for 1 minute, the candidates for short would be ETFC is actually coming up, so it's not going to be a short candidate anyway. UNFC could be a potential short, any pop. So Andrea, we posted on the announcement section. Oh yeah, SFIX has 15. Yeah, so in that case, SFIX, yeah, we might not get SFIX short. How many shorts it has? Oh, 700. Yeah, we're probably not gonna get short on that. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. We might not be able to really. We might not really be able to short trade. So the stocks that gap down on the pop, if you have shorts, might be a good short opportunity. And yeah, other than that, everything seems awesome. All right, so guys, thank you on YouTube people. Thank you very much. If you're interested to join us, you can sign up for our trial plan for 1 week and use the code premarket24 to get a discount on your trial and see if you like our community or chat room and if you can actually trade on that or not. So premarket24 is the code. For those of you who are in the community, just gonna look at it. And if you want to join us, welcome. You don't have to, and not everyone is actually trading good in a community. So yeah, that's why very important to test it out before commit for a big price on any community. A lot of people trade, alone by themselves. Much easier for them. So it's up to you guys. Anyways, guys, well, thank you very much on YouTube, guys. And yeah, Carlos, if you want to shut down the